Hey guys, it's your boy Joe back at it again, CodingPhase.com. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video, and please hit the notification bell, okay? So you could get notified every single time we release one of these videos and tutorials that you will enjoy, okay? So we will be building the PlayStation 5 UI. Now we're gonna do this with React.js, HTML, and good old CSS, okay? So this is what we're going to be doing. All right. At the same time, we also will be using Next.js. And yeah, so let's just get started. It looks pretty nice, right? It looks pretty cool. So let's start by creating a new project with Next.js. So go to your terminal. Okay. I'm going to go to my area where I have all of my projects. And from here, I'm going to say npx create next app, and then in here I'm gonna put in the name of PS5, let's say PS5 dashboard. We just call it that, okay? Or you could call it whatever you want. All right, give this a second. This is installing everything that we need from React all the way to Next.js. And the reason why we're doing this like this is just to get you guys comfortable on using Next.js and also using React. You can do this with just plain vanilla, JavaScript, or just plain HTML, CSS if you like, and you can follow along with this course too. But we like to do it with Next.js. Yeah. So yeah, let's just get started. Once we have this here, we're gonna go to cd PS5 dashboard, which is the project folder for us, and then in here we're just gonna say npm run dev. Okay, so now we're running localhost 3000. When we refresh this, we see the screen, so that tells us that we're running Next.js and everything is working. Now the next thing I want you guys to do is go to your VS Code, and let's go into the PS5 dashboard. Open this up. All right, and what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna open this up right here like this. Okay, and then inside of the pages folder, you go into the index.js, and this is where we're gonna be working from. All right, now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete all of this, delete all of that JSX. Okay, we're also going to comment this out. Okay, and then from there we're just gonna start with the basics. Okay, which is gonna be the first things that we want to work on, which is gonna be the header. So we're gonna say div class name equals to screen, just like that. Inside of here, we're going to put in the header. Inside of here, we're gonna have a media nav section. So I'm gonna say div class name media nav. Then from there, we're gonna have an anchor link. Okay. And in here, we're gonna say class name active. Then we're going to say games. All right. Now from here, we're gonna also put in another one, which is gonna be ahref, and then we're gonna put in media. Okay. And then the next one, we're gonna create another section. And since I'm calling them sections, I should come here and say section. Okay, do it like this. Section, then section, and this one we're gonna call it settings. Class name settings, just like that. And then in here we're gonna say span class name equals to icon, and we're gonna be using font awesome for this section. So I'm just gonna say I class name equals to FA search. This is gonna give us the search icon, just like that. Then just like that. All right. Now we're gonna come here and also just copy this a couple of times. All right, so in here we're gonna put in, instead of the search, we're gonna put in FA cog, and then from here this is where we're gonna have the user's image. So right here we could say something like this: image class name user, and you can just use anything that comes from like UIFaces.com, like any of those images, because technically all you want is just an image of a user. Doesn't really matter. You could put yourself if you want. Right here I'm just gonna come in, copy this image, right, and then from there close this up. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to put in the time. So right after the image we have the time, so we're going to say span class name equals to time, just like that. And then inside of here we're going to say whatever time you guys want. I'm going to say 8:06 p.m. just like that. And we're pretty much done with the header. Okay, now one thing that I want to do is I want to start working on the CSS right away as soon as we start getting to these sections. So far this is how it looks. It doesn't look like nothing crazy, okay, but let's come in here, go to globals.scss. okay, now for those of you guys that don't know about Next.js, all of this is already being added to the application itself on the document, as far as like this global CSS file. Okay, so we're good to go. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to come in and start working on the CSS, and we're going to start by doing the screen. So you're probably wondering, why am I naming this a screen? And that's because I want this to be the exact size of 1920 by 1080. Okay, so technically we want to keep that same aspect ratio, and at the same time, you know, so it could be kind of like realistic, you know. That's 1080p, 1920 by 1080. So let's try to do that right now. So let's say screen. Okay, and then in here we're gonna put in a couple of properties. So I'm just gonna copy this, paste this here, and we have background URL, right? So in here you guys have this image. You guys can copy exactly how I have it or add your own. Okay, now I also have background size contain, background repeat, no repeat, so we don't want this to repeat. We want the width to be 1920 by 1080 pixels. Okay, and we want the overflow to be hidden, so if any elements get out of here, hide it. Okay, so there we go, we save that, and this is what we get. Okay, nice little picture from that player from PlayStation. I forgot his name. Astro, I think that's the name of the guy. If you have the PlayStation 5, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's get started with this, with the header. So we're gonna have the header, and inside of the header we're gonna say display flex. Then we're also going to say width 100%. Then we're going to say justify content space between. Okay, so remember, we want to have some space between the navigation and the settings. So one is going to go here, and another one's going to go to the right. Okay, so once we do this, let's also put in a padding and say padding 40 pixels all around. Okay, so save that, and there we go. As you can see, start splitting things up. All right, cool. Now the next thing that I want to do is continuing here, and I'm gonna say header, let's say media nav active we're going to say font weight 700. Then we're also going to say color white. Then I'm also going to say header settings. I want this to be width 450. Then I also want this to be display flex. This is to align things horizontally. Okay. And I want this to be also justify content space between. All right. And then align items centered. This is going to center the items. And then we're going to say color is going to be white. Save that. All right. So there we go. This is what we have so far. We got the media. We got the icons right here. All right. So then now the next thing that we want to do is bring in the font awesome. I forgot to bring those in. So I'm just going to search font awesome for CDN just to make it simple. Some of you guys might want to use the 5. Okay, it's up to you. I just like using the font awesome version of this for version 4 because like that people don't have to sign up. So if you want to go sign up, okay, do what you got to do. Now in here I want you guys to basically import the CDN or the CSS file for those font awesome. So I'm gonna save this. Okay, and then now as you can see we have the icons in here. All right, nice. Now we just gotta make everything the right size. So we're gonna continue with this. So we got the header settings done. Okay, then here we're gonna say header settings .fa. Okay, so this is gonna target all of the icons. We're gonna say font size. All right, and once we do this, we're gonna say to rem, just like that. Then we're gonna say color white, and then we're going to say header .settings .time. Say font size. Matter of fact, font size to rem for this one also, and this is pretty much the same thing. All right. Another one that we want to bring in is for the user. So I'm just gonna copy this, paste this in, and say .user. Here we're gonna say width 50 pixels, height 50 pixels. So we want this to be perfect square, and then border radius 50% to make it a perfect circle. Save that, and there we go. Now we're missing this area right here. We gotta make the sizes a little bit better than that. So let me see, where is it? Header media nav. So I'm gonna put this right here, header .media nav. Right, and then in here we're gonna say font size to rem, color, we're gonna say 8F9788, which is like a sort of a grayish bluish. Okay, we're gonna say display flex, and we're also gonna say justify content space between. Then we're also going to say width 250 pixels. Then we're going to say font weight 100. Save that, and there we go. Okay, so now it's starting to look good. All right, cool. So now let's go to the next section, all right, which is the game navigation. All right, so give me a second. We're going to go into the game navigation. So right below the header, we're gonna also put in another section. We're gonna say something like this, say div class name. Okay, div class name equals to container, and we're gonna basically create a container to keep everything at a certain range because we don't want this to be 100% full screen. we just want it to be like somewhere around here. So it's like 90% of the screen's view. Okay, so we got class container, and then inside of it we're gonna put in the game nav. So in here we're gonna say section, class name, game nav. Okay, and then inside of this game nav we're gonna start by creating the first game. So we're gonna say div class name equals to let's say we got section, class name, game nav, then we got game active, right? So this is gonna be the first active game that's gonna show up. Okay, now inside of here we're also going to put in something like this. We're gonna say I class name equals to fa dash location dash arrow. Okay, just like that. And then let's see how that looks. Okay, so currently, let me save this, and I'm gonna actually go and take my time this time to actually go and start working on the CSS on this first, because I kind of need to see how this is looking like. So let's start with the container. So let's say container and say max with 90%, and then I'm gonna say 0 margin, 0 auto. And yes, I know there's a million ways of doing the exact same thing, and you could do it with Flexbox. Guys, this is like what I know how to do, and you know, it's easy for me because I've been doing it for so long. Okay, but yeah, there's a million ways of doing the exact same thing, by the way. It's called web development, just in case you forgot. All right, so now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna target the game nav. So let's say game nav display flex, then we're gonna say margin bottom 250 pixels, and then from there we're going to say game nav, and then we targeting the game that's inside of it. And then in here we're going to do a couple of things, like adding a linear gradient. So come here, paste this in. I'm just pasting it in because it's a lot of properties, and I'm just gonna explain it. So we got a linear gradient 60 degrees. We got a certain color that is basically just gonna create a nice gradient background for it, which is similar to what the PS5 UI's background is. Okay, then from there we have width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, overflow hidden, border radius 20%. Okay, this to make the corners rounded, margin right, so we're pushing everything else or any other game to 15 pixels to the right, and we making sure that when we hover on top of it there's a pointer on the cursor. Okay, so basically the little hand. So then from there we got 0 border 0 solid, and we have this color as the color for the border. So save this. Okay, and as you can see, this is what it creates. All right, now let me go in here, let me see what I have. Now technically I'm supposed to see an icon here, but I think it's because of the color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say here color white, just like that, and there we go. All right, so we do have that icon showing up. Okay, then in here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say something like this, game nav game, and when we hover above it, I want the border to be 2 pixels solid, and then it's gonna be that 576170 color. Okay, then the next thing that I want to do is I want to do the game nav game. If it has the class active, we want this to be like this, overflow visible, width 150 pixels, height 150 pixels, then border 2 pixels, solid 576170. Then in here we're gonna say display flex. Then I want to center this right in the middle, so we're gonna say justify content centered, just like that. Then align items center. It's gonna make it right in the middle. And we're also gonna say position relative. All right. And there we go, as you can see. Now, the next thing that I want to do is we're gonna stick in here on the game nav. We're still working on this. So I want to say game nav. All right, game nav dot game, and then active, and then we're gonna say after, just like this. And we're basically gonna say content explore, and that's because it needs to have like a little explore letter here. It says explore on the PlayStation, so we're using after without having to create another element. So we're gonna say position absolute, then we're gonna say color white, then we're gonna say font size 1.6 rem, then we're gonna say font weight, let's say 100. We're gonna say bottom, right? So we're basically putting it at the bottom but pushing it away from the bottom 10 pixels. And then we're saying we want this to go to the right minus 100 pixels. Okay, save that, and there we go. Look, it's looking good. Now we haven't really added any games, so technically this game navigation has a whole bunch of games here on the side, so we got to make sure that we go in and add these games. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy an example that I have here for you guys, and let's see. So we got the game nav, okay, then the game, and then this one is the one that has active on it, and then this one we're gonna paste this in just like that. All right, so we got div class name game, then div class name image, right? So we have this element here, which is gonna have the background of different games. So I just decided to get a cover for the game. Again, then here I said background size cover, background position center, transform scale to 1.5. Okay, so it could be big. So when I do this, okay, let's see. Technically it should show the picture. So let me see, maybe the game is not showing up, or maybe I don't have this. Okay, so this is the Spider-Man game. Okay, so it is working. So let's figure out why it's not working yet. Okay, I think maybe it's because I haven't added the CSS. So let's continue working on this. All right, so we got game nav, game active, after. Okay, we did that. We added the explore title. Then from there we're gonna have game nav. Okay, game nav, game active, right? And then FA, so we targeting that icon. I want to say font size 4 rem, just like that, and there we go. Then from there we have the other one. Let me just copy this. Okay, and then here we're gonna target that image. All right, so here we're gonna say width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, so perfect square, background size, cover, which I think it should be fine. Let me see, save that. that should be fine regardless, because it's already being put over here. I already have it here. So background size, cover, background position, centered, and yeah, so everything should be fine. I shouldn't have to do anything else. Let me see if I try to put this into contain. Let's see how that looks. Okay, contain looks like that, which is not bad. So I might just keep that. It's either cover or contain. We might have to come back later on, okay, and tweak this. So anyways, what I will say now is just copy this div right here with the game, and you could copy this multiple times, maybe like 6, 7 times like that. So you could have a whole bunch of games right here, okay? And then from there, of course, just change the images, okay? Now, because I already have some images for this, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and just copy in this, and there we go. So basically I just changed all of the image in here, and I just found like different covers of the games on Google and just added it to it. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing, just like I told you guys. Once you copy one of this div, class name game, you could just paste it over and over again, just change the image background. All right, and there we go. This is what we have. All right, looking good, kids. All right, cool. So let's see what else is next. What else do we have? So now in this area here, we have like some information, like updates of the PlayStation. So that's what we're gonna be building next. So let's go into that info section. So give me a second. Okay, let me see, where is it? We got section, game nav. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this in for a little bit so we don't have so much things. Okay, and in here I'm gonna say section, and I'm going to say section class name info. Now inside of here we're gonna have a span. I'm gonna say span class name equals to subtitle. We're gonna say official news from PlayStation, and then here it's gonna say November 28, 2020. Okay, now in here we're also gonna put in an H1, and we're just gonna say ready for a PS5 adventure. Okay, ready for a PS5 adventure. Then in here we're gonna say putting a paragraph, and we're gonna say Astros Playroom is preloaded and waiting for you. Explore the new capabilities of PS5 and feel the world. Just like that. Okay, cool. So we're done with this. Now let's go into the CSS. This is like the info section that I was just telling you. So then now we're gonna say info H1 font size 3 rem, font weight, let's say 300. Okay, and we're also going to say color is also white. Now also in here we're going to say info. Okay, the info is going to be width 50% of the screen, margin bottom 3 rem. Okay, then from there we have the info subtitle, font weight 300, font size 1.2 rem. Then the color is gonna be like a little grayish color, so we're gonna say AF9788. Okay, now the next thing that we have is info P, which is for paragraph, font size 2 rem, font weight 300, and also the color is going to be that grayish color, A79788. Save that, and there we go. Okay, now it's starting to take form, kids. Starting to look good. All right, now the next thing that we have right here is going to be a video trailer section. Okay, we're almost done. That's it. So let me close this section too. Okay, and I'm gonna say section ID. I should have been using ID. I don't know why I didn't use this thing, but I should have just put it as an ID. It doesn't really matter right now, but what the hell, you guys could use IDs too. Okay, so trailers, video trailers, let's see, that's the name of the section. Then in here we're going to go in and basically put in a div, right? All right, let me see. Yeah, so we're gonna say div, class name trailer. Okay, so each trailer is gonna be the box for, or the container for the trailer. So we're gonna have an image. Okay, and you know what, I'm just gonna copy this image from here. These are basically just screenshots of games. So this is, if you guys want to change these images, all you have to do is just change it to a screenshot of a game. All right, it's nothing crazy. Then in here we're gonna have a div, class name video info. So this is where we have the information of this video. And here we're gonna have a circle. So this circle is to basically announce that this is like a video and people could click on it. So we're gonna say circle player. Then in here we're gonna say I class name equals to FA play. That's the play icon. Then we also have span class name title, and this is to have the title of the game. So here I'm just gonna say Grand Theft Auto. Okay, save that, and this is how it's looking like right now. It's looking like a mess. All right. So then now what we want to do is we want to go in and start working on the CSS for this part. So in here we're gonna go into the video trailer. So say video trailers, white space. We're gonna say no wrap. This is to make sure that this doesn't wrap, and we have all of the, basically all of the trailers showing up right here, and we could just scroll through here. So instead of wrapping around, like once it gets to the maximum width, instead of wrapping around, we're saying, hey, don't wrap it around, just keep everything on the same line. Okay, so here we're gonna say overflow X we're gonna say scroll. All right, just like that. And then here we're gonna say padding left 5%. Okay, just like that. Then we're gonna go into the video trailers. Copy this. I'm just gonna paste it here to not write it again. And here we're gonna say trailer. So now we're targeting all of the trailers, and we're gonna say position relative. Display is gonna be inline block. We're gonna say white space, no wrap. And again, what I'm doing right here, you could literally do with Flexbox, but I don't know, when I'm writing this, I'm so comfortable by doing it like this that even though I could do it with Flexbox or even CSS Grid, like I'm comfortable with this. You guys can choose whatever you want. Sometimes people think like there's only one way of doing it, or because Flexbox came out or because CSS Grid came out, they think like, hey, everything that has to do with CSS needs to be completely done with Flexbox and CSS Grid. Is like, nah, bro, like shut up. Straight up. Like, what you talking about? Like, no one cares except you. All right, so background, and then in here I'm just gonna add the linear gradient. Okay, so let me see. And we're also putting in opacity 1 to it. Okay, and this is because we want to have like a nice little animation for each trailer. Okay, so let me see. So this is what we have. Okay, there's a margin there. All right, cool. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to go into each image. So let's say here like this, copy this because we're targeting the same area. We're gonna say trailer image, then let me see. Okay, hold on. Trailer hover image. Sorry, trailer hover image, and we're gonna say opacity 1. Okay, paste this. Then here we're gonna say trailer image. Right. So what this is doing is that when we hover the trailer container, then the image itself is gonna be opacity 1. Okay. But by default is gonna be an opacity of 0.5. All right, so that's why I put it there. So we're gonna say like this: transition opacity for 0.4 seconds, ease in and out. This is just for it to have the animation. Then we're gonna say by default we want this to have 0.5 as the opacity on the image. The image itself needs to be 350 pixels. Let's say height needs to be 200 pixels. All right, and we're gonna say object fit. So this is something that's pretty cool. If you guys don't use this, you guys need to start using it. This is just like as if you was using background, size, contain, or cover. Object fit does the same thing, but within the image itself. Okay, so it'll keep everything within that area. All right, so as you can see, we got that little animation. Now the next thing that we want to do once we target the image is come here, paste this here. I'm gonna start with the video info. Okay, so in here we're gonna say position absolute. Okay, position absolute. Then we're gonna say width 100%, or yeah, 100%. And then bottom we're gonna say 0. Then we're gonna say color, we want it to be white. Padding, we want it to be 1 rem. Save that, and there we go. So as you can see, we have the title and the information there. Okay, now let me see what else. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something, but I guess not. So let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be video trailer dot circle player. Okay. And then from there, we're going to say background white, color black. Let's say display flex. So this is the circle. We want this to be a perfect circle, and we want to center the icon. So that's why I'm doing display flex. Justify content center. Align items centered. Then we also want to say width is going to be 40 pixels. Height is going to also be 40 pixels. Then from there, we're going to say border radius. We're going to say 50%. And then we're going to say margin bottom 1 rem. Save that. All right, and there we go. This is what we have, kids. All right, cool. Now to finish this off, the last thing that you guys need to do is basically copy this trailer container and make a whole bunch of copies of it, and then just change the image and the title, right? So all that information, so it could be, you know, different games. So I already did this for you guys, so I'm just gonna press to paste this up, and there we go. So this is what we have so far. This right here, my friends, is the PlayStation UI. Now let me see something real quick as far as the trailer, because let me see, we got video trailers, and I think there's something that I'm missing from here, and that is from the container. Okay, so I need to remove this from within the container, because technically this thing needs to be like full screen. It shouldn't be stopping right here. So let me see, like this. Okay, I'm gonna come in, go to the top, go to the top, go to the top. Okay, and right here where it says video trailers, scroll all the way down, select all of that, and then take that out and remove it from within the container and paste it in here. Okay, and there we go. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. So technically it's supposed to be aligned with this margin that is on the container from this area, but not be within that container. So then the trailers themselves, they scroll all the way to the right side of the screen, no matter what. Okay, so there we go, kids. We are done. Hopefully you guys like this, man. You know, it took a little while to get all of this done, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned a couple of CSS tricks, and, you know, work with Next.js a little bit. Now, if you would like me to build functionality, like a full functionality to this thing, like maybe connecting to, I don't know, some game database, and we are able to pull up random games and show them right here, and then maybe we could add some more sections, especially with some animations just like the PlayStation 5. So let's say, for example, if we click on the Spider-Man, we show in the information of Spider-Man, and then it shows up like trailers of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game, etc., or like who's playing, which one of your friends is playing, things like that. Or even when we see this trailers right here, if we click here for it to load up full screen and play the video, if you would like to see that, make sure you subscribe and show me some love in the comment section, and I will do it. Okay, but it's up to you. You know, if you show me love, I will show you love back. Okay, I will create whatever it is that you want me to do for you. Okay, so if you would like to see this thing fully functional and be working exactly like the PlayStation store or the PlayStation UI, right? Let me know in the comment section and I will do it for you. All right, guys. So by the way, guys, if you enjoyed this video, man, please do show some love. Go to CodingPhase.com. Like literally, this is the website I put in so much work for you guys. We have over 80 courses in here, you know, and at the same time we have like 20-30 projects that are not even listed, but that you have access to them. Okay, so it's a lot of content, a lot of courses, everything that you need to become a front-end developer, back-end developer, full stack developer, just for a single price. And if you act now, you can start with $10 a month. It gives you access to all of those courses. So if you click on full stack, there's a whole bunch of courses that you get access to it. Okay, at the same time, if you sign up for the yearly subscription, you get access to all of the exclusive courses that are within different career groups and career paths. For example, HTML email developer, right? All of these courses are premium courses. Same thing as over here, all of the Shopify courses, premium courses. So you can learn everything that you need, and it's only $198 for the whole year. So you're talking about, I don't know, you're really paying, when you think about it, 100, let's say 100, I think, was it 198, okay, divided by 80, okay, you're paying $2.04 per course, right? And 47 cents, matter of fact, $2.47 for each course. Like, that's not bad to get access to all of this for the whole year. But yeah, man, definitely go check it out. CodingPhase.com, guys, is a really great deal. I try to make this thing super affordable for each one of you guys. So yeah, man, show me some love and I will show you love back. Like I said, if you want me to do this and create this fully functional for you guys, let me know on the comment section. And depending on the feedback and how many people want this, I will add it in the next 2 days. All right, so show me some love. I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. Peace.